Are we ready, Mrs. B?
Yeah, we're ready.
Where are we?
We're in Wide Beam Bella.
We are. And apologies for me Bay City roller, tapered lounge trousers, Google Bay City rollers. But I'm leaving them on. Welcome to.
They look very comfy, don't they?
They are very comfortable. Welcome to the monthly podcast. If you're new around here, we every month answer your questions that you've sent in via the YouTube comments or on our website lovelifetriumph.co.uk. Today we record it. We try to do around about a dozen questions a month, and it tends to be around about 45 minutes to an hour. Shall we crack on, Mrs. Bonneville?
Yeah, can I just say, today is so windy. I can see all the trees, so I'm sorry if I'm a bit distracted, but everything's blowing like a flurry outside.
That's what happens when you let Mrs. Bonneville go off on her own. I don't edit any of this, by the way. And we just want to say Mrs. Bonneville has no idea what the questions are.
Not a clue. I say that every week, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
Every month, yeah.
Right, so let's crack on. Patty and Ken from Tenerife via lovelifetriumph.co.uk.
Lovely.
And again, just for confirmation, all I'm reading here, all I'm doing is just reading the questions. I just cut and paste them straight onto the iPad from the YouTube comments or the website. Right, so Patty and Ken from Tenerife. Love you two and never miss a Sunday at 7 o'clock. I don't know, if I was living in Tenerife, I don't know whether I'd be sitting in at 7 o'clock on a Sunday, but thank you. We know you are getting a sofa and perhaps a few other things for the boat, so therefore it's not finished, correct? But, they put but in bold, is there any chance of another quick walkthrough, as we think you have the most beautiful boat? Thank you again and keep up the great videos.
Oh, Patty and Ken, thank you.
Patty and Ken, thank you. Yes, look, there's not been too much done, but we will give you a quick walkthrough because there are a few bits and pieces. Let me just pick up the camera.
We got a few little ornaments, didn't we?
We did get a few little ornaments, but in general, nothing really has changed. I say you've probably seen the table before. Nothing really has changed in the kitchen. We've got some little knickknacks. We've got some oven gloves and we've got a tea towel. My choice. We have got some cushions for the back deck. There we are, folks. We're now on the back deck. We've got some cushions. There's nothing really to do on the back deck except sit out on it when the sun finally comes out in the UK. Let me just come back in. Apologies for the shaky footage. Let me just close the doors, folks. So, as I say, the main thing is we are going to be getting a L shape or a corner sofa. The reason we've not got it yet is we just wanted to settle into the boat and make sure it's exactly what we wanted to do, because they're not cheap. So
and we've had a look at a few, haven't we?
We've had a look at a few and it will be coming soon. So nothing really in there. Big change in the toilet though, folks. You know my view on these Cinderellas, it's not changed, they are good, but you'll notice next to it we've got a little porta potty, because our Cinderella toilet, the burner, for them, again, for those that are aware, the general principle is you do what you do on the toilet and it goes into an incinerator chamber, and obviously it requires to be burnt, or a burning process, and the little burner's gone. So obviously the boat and the toilet's under warranty, so the chap's coming to do that next week. So my feeling on the Cinderella toilet is it's okay. I like the principle, but as I say, if it was me, I would have a cassette in there. But yeah, that's the only change in the bathroom. We've got a little porta potty. In the bedroom, again a few little knickknacks here. And in the bedroom, nothing's changed. I don't expect anything to change in the bedroom. Sorry about the lighting, it's very, very dark. So yeah, in essence, not much has changed.
We're posh because we've got two toilets.
Let me just put the camera back down.
What we've got to keep remembering is not to use the Cinderella one. I've actually sat on there a few times. I thought, oh no.
So there you go. As I say, the big item will be arriving soon, which is the sofa. And as you're looking at the camera now, the corner unit will be over there. It'll probably be a 4 or 5 seater. And that's one of the main reasons we love this boat, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's the space it allows. So yeah, thank you very much for that question. Mrs. B, anything you want to add to that?
Thank you, Pat and Ken. No, that's it.
Pat and Ken. Yes, it was Patty and Ken. Very good. Right. Next question. Sorry, I'm all over the place here. This has come from Rich Colgate via the YouTube comments. And Rich has put, great vlogs, enjoy watching them.
Thank you.
Thank you. A question. The first moment you realise, let's go off-grid upon a boat, what provoked that thought?
I think, do you know, to be honest with you, it wasn't my thought. It was Darren's thought. So I'm going to have to leave it with him. But I'm one of those people that, as you get to know us, Darren will come up with an idea. And I've always said, Darren will say, I am thinking of. And he's not thinking of it. It's already done deal. But I'm a lot more laid back with Darren than Darren with things like that. So he'll come up with an idea and I'll just have a little think about it. And I think, why not? Why not? So I was quite happy to go along with his idea. So what made you think about it?
I've mentioned it before, Rich, on some of our vlogs. I was sitting up in our back office. So the house we lived in, we kind of converted one of the bedrooms into a little office. So I was sitting there one day. The first lockdown had just started, and I knew. Bless you. Bless
Sorry.
you. I knew what was coming. I think everyone, wherever you live in the world, knew what was coming. And I just said to myself, I don't want this. So I just started to think about alternative ways of living, and literally stumbled across some narrowboat channels on YouTube. That was it. I spent probably 2 weeks sat up in the office in between working, just looking at YouTube videos on narrowboats and wide beams. That was it. But the thing that triggered it for me was, I do not want to spend the rest of my life living the way we were living. There was nothing wrong with the way we were living, it just wasn't for me. So and ultimately I did try to link it to, how do I eventually get some sun on my back, because I've made no bones about it. I've been very open and clear with Mrs. B and everyone that listened to me. I don't want to spend my retirement years, and that's a long way off for me. I don't know whether I actually will end up retiring. I do really love work, but at some point I want at least 6 months of sun on my back a year. So this is maybe stage one of further things, but that's what prompted it. It was basically that horrible C word. Thank you.
And I just followed on. I just went, okay, why not?
She didn't say that.
No, my first thought was, are you having a beep laugh? Was my actual first thing, but then I came round to it.
So, Rich, thank you. Jane Copeland, and again, this is coming via lovelifetriumph.co.uk. Hello from, hello you. Hello from Parker, Colorado. I've actually been to Parker, Colorado. I've ridden the Harley Davidson through there. Wonderful part of the world. Not sure if this is where to ask a question, but I can't help but wonder what you think the effect, if any, on the marinas and canals will be with so many additional boats. I ask because it seems like every other question you get asked begins with, we are thinking about selling up and moving on to a boat. You're absolutely right, Jane. We do get an awful lot of those questions, which is fine. To be honest, it's kind of on our list as well. My husband Andrew is a Brit and has long wanted to move home. He's been here 36 years. We can go one more than never having been on a boat. We've never even seen a narrowboat or wide beam in person. Wow. So, first of all, Jane, thank you ever so much for the question.
Yeah.
And if I had to flick a coin, Parker, Colorado, or living on a boat, that would be a tough one, because you really do live in a beautiful part of the US. I don't know. It's a really good question. What do you think?
I think that there are, like you said, more and more people going for an alternative way of living, and this is an alternative way of living. Somebody said to me, if we were to do all the canals on the network, in the UK network, it would take around 7 years. I don't know how true that is, but somebody told me that. So that's a lot of network. If you're a constant cruiser, there's a lot of waterways there for you to be cruising around. marinas, the marina here has just introduced more residential moorings, so that's made the capacity here larger. There's plenty of facilities, and it's not made a difference to us. It's equipped for that. There's a brand new marina that's opened up probably about 60 miles, 70 miles away in a place called Milton Keynes. That's a lovely big posh marina. So there's marinas opening up to accommodate this influx of new people coming onto it. I don't think there'll be a major problem. Do you? I think there's enough to go around, but we're not constant cruisers. So if your thought is to buy a narrowboat and then go out constant cruising, I mean, I don't know. There's plenty of fabulous constant cruising channels out there to have a look at. But I don't know whether it would have such a big effect, or what do you think?
I don't know. I'm going to apply the rule of supply and demand.
Yeah.
My gut tells me, but it would always say this, you know, secure your mooring first if you want marina living. You know, Mrs. B's right, that Mersey Marina have introduced more residential moorings. As you know, we're residential, we live here. Secure your mooring first if it's marina life that you want. Constant cruising, not an issue, of course it isn't, but therefore we don't know how busy those waterways are. We know, we're not stupid, we know there's peak times in the summer, people go in cruising.
Llangollen is a good example, everybody goes there, don't they?
You're also going cruising in June on a narrowboat, so it'll be busy. But living on the canals, we have no idea, because say the furthest we took on narrowboat was for the diesel.
We're floaters, not motors, aren't we?
So yeah, I don't know. My gut, however, wrapped around all that tells me more and more people are looking for, I don't even like the word alternative. I don't think it's an alternative way of life. We are living on our wide beam. We now class it, you know, jokingly as our floating bungalow. I don't see it as an alternative way of living personally.
I think a lot of people do.
I think a lot of people do. They probably get a little bit, oh golly, you know, I'm selling my house, I'm selling my bricks, I'm going to live, you know, on a boat. Yeah, of course. But for me, it's not an alternative way of living. You know, we're tied up on a fabulous, luxurious boat on a marina. An alternative way of living for me is actually a continuous cruiser, or going and living in a van or an RV or whatever. So my gut tells me I think it will continue that way. Mrs. B's right, hence the supply and demand. As long as there's marinas out there for those folk that want to live on a marina, fine. I think the prices are going to go that way. I don't think that bubble will burst for a while. Only from what I see and hear happening on this particular marina, and on all the boats that come in for sale on brokerage, and they're gone. You know, within a matter of weeks, they're gone. So I think the trend will be upwards. And as I say, I've said it 3 times, as long as, you know, supply and demand kind of run alongside one another. It's a difficult one to answer, but it's a really great question. And enjoy your narrowboat holiday in June. But I think we can actually top you, Jane, in terms of never actually physically seeing a boat. In terms of, you know, wow. I don't want to mention the lady and her husband, Vicky, who recently moved with her husband from Australia to move onto Mersey Marina, onto a boat. And now I think that is truly
huge.
Amazing. First of all, they're a wonderfully
they're lovely.
couple.
We had coffee with them yesterday on Wide Beam Goldfinch, and it was lovely to really get to know you and your husband. It was very nice.
Yeah, and for me, that is a huge step. So go do it at the end of the day. You've got one life, just go live it.
And they're loving
really
it.
Good question.
They're loving it on here, so there you go.
Right, thank you for that, Jane.
Thank you, Jane.
Moving on, Lavinia Johnson, and this has come via YouTube comments. Just love your upbeat videos. Thank you, Lavinia.
Thank you.
A breath of fresh air for sure. Thank you again. A question for you, please. Do you ever need to move your fabulous boat to charge systems so things don't seize up? Happy birthday, by the way. Thank you. Yes, we do. Well, we have to move the boat twice a year due to residential requirements and terms and conditions of our mooring. Do I start the boat up just to turn things over? I have started the boat up once. Frightened the life out of me, so I turned the key off. No is the answer. You know, And I don't know if anyone, does want to give a bit of advice here, because I'm no marine engineer. The only thing I will say is every boat, whether it be narrowboat or wide beam, certainly when we lived on our narrowboat, we never turned the engine over. In fact, we didn't turn it over for about 6 months. And then when we came to move it, I started it up and off we chugged. So I'm not actually sure what best practice does dictate in terms of should you be starting it up. But I kind of keep my ear to the ground where we currently are, and no one really seems to start.
And we're plugged in. So it's almost like plugging in a 3-pin plug socket. Yeah. We're not plugging in a 3-pin plug socket.
The mechanics of the boat, though, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But Mrs. B's right. We are physically plugged in. Good question. That.
Yeah,
I don't
very
know
good.
the answer. Seriously, if there's anyone out there listening,
yeah,
I think it is a genuine. Drop us a comment in terms of what perhaps you do think you should be doing. As I say, since we've been on this wide beam, which is 3 or 4 months, I've started up once. Now, in a matter of a few weeks, we will have to move because it's coming to that time. As I say, we have to move our boats twice a year.
We don't move it off this pontoon.
Berths up.
You just swap around with your neighbour, and I think our lovely captain on this pontoon, Mark, I think he'll be helping us move it. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. I'll be at work, so it'll be Mrs. B. No, Lavina, thank you for that question.
Thanks, Lavina.
I'm sorry we couldn't quite answer it, but we're not quite sure. Right, next question. Mark and Yvonne Edwards, and this is coming, and they live in Port Talbot, and this is coming via lovelifetriumph.co.uk. You pair are crazy funny, and we are hooked watching you every Sunday.
Thank you.
Great entertainment, no, Mark and Yvonne, thank you. We are both just being a little overly curious. Is that polite for nosy?
We don't mind that, do we?
And would like to know why Mr. B retired so young. Thank you. And then started to work again. Would you recommend life on a wide beam and retirement? Thank you again for the weekly vlogs. Please keep them coming. Mark,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I retired in my early 40s. I think it was 43. Or when I say retired, I kind of said, right, enough's enough. It wasn't for me. This is going to sound really awful, and this isn't criticism for those that have retired. It really isn't.
Because I have.
Yeah, I couldn't live and or I couldn't retire personally right now in my life on nursing marine. It's not for me. I would go absolutely crazy, and that's just me. Mrs. Bonneville sometimes, I'm sure she would realise this, sometimes struggles with maybe recognising some folk have different requirements. And it's not me criticising Mrs. Bonneville or others in nursing who are retired. It's just not for me. I'm going to have to say it, I've had 2 wonderful careers, and I am very career minded, and I do love my career, I genuinely do. So getting up to go to work for me doesn't bother me, it really doesn't. So retiring when I did was too early. I recognise that, and I do genuinely mean that, so it wasn't for me. I say, I couldn't retire here on the marina. There's not enough to keep me going personally. But as I say, for others, it's a wonderful way of life. That's not me criticising.
I get myself involved. I've got a lovely routine going now, and I get myself involved in all sorts of different things. And the boys on the Wide Beam Goldfinch are brilliant friends to have, because I'll just say, shall we go and have a walk? We had a lovely walk round Carsington Reservoir the other day. I'll just say, shall we do this walk? Shall we go there? Shall we do this? So I'm very fortunate, because I've got a lovely life. Thank you, Mr. B.
No, listen, and that's what it's about. It's about living your life, isn't it? And I say, I want to live my life. There's no polite. It's going to sound horrible. I have a career that has a senior role, and I like that. I've worked hard, really hard, in 2 kind of careers I've had simultaneously, side by side, to, I hate the phrase, get where I am. And I'm not flexing or anything, I'm really not, but I really enjoy that breadth and responsibility with my job. I genuinely do. So getting up for me, if I got a different role that wasn't challenging my mind, I'd probably take a different view, but I haven't. And I'm only, at the end of the day, I'm 54 years old.
Just a baby.
So ask me in another 10 years, maybe. But I know me. I really do. But yeah, really, really great question. Generally speaking, buy a boat, retire on it. Wow, what a great life you're going to have.
Fabulous.
Seriously, I do mean that, but good question. Oh, they fried my brains today with these questions. Keep them easy, folks. Got me Bay City roller pants on. Right, Adam Carvelio from Rome via lovelifetribe.co.uk. I'm a Brit living and working over in Rome, and early 2023, with fingers crossed, I shall be returning home for good. Why? My plan is to buy a boat, but I simply have no idea if I buy a sail away or, like you pair, a boat that is done. And by the way, it is simply stunning.
Thank you.
Do you mind me asking if you investigated the various options when you were looking to buy? Keep these videos coming, please. They are so entertaining. I genuinely do love watching them.
Oh, thank you.
Adam, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we did. Because if you look at, I say, our very first vlogs that we did.
First couple, yeah.
We were going to buy we were looking at wide beams, weren't we? We went to Collingwood in Liverpool. Saw a lovely guy there who took us around and showed us how things were made and done and stuff, and talked through the different options that we could have.
Just checking for still recording. Sorry, Mr.
Okay. So our first thought was a wide beam, and so we looked at that, and then we thought maybe we could have a look at a sail away as well. And a sail away is where you buy the shell of the boat and it's been insulated, but that's it. And then you do the whole fit out yourself. So we had a look at that, and then we looked at narrowboats, because our intention was that we were actually going to see some of the network, and we bought all the books and everything, and thought, well, we'll not have a wide beam yet. We'll get a narrowboat, because then we can go around some of the network and have a look. And then we now know roughly what we want in a wide beam. We can look at that later on in life. As it happens, we bought a narrowboat and never went anywhere. But yeah, do you want to say more about the...
I know, but Mrs. Monroe, again, this is going to sound very modest. I would have loved to have bought, so Mrs. B's right, the sailaways are basically as basic as it gets. They'll be foam lined. Then there's a fully lined, which is the foam lining, and then basically it'll be fitted out. But the rest you've got to do, you've got to put your floor down,
everything,
kitchen,
doors, everything.
Now, I'm going to have to say it, and Mrs. B will back me up, I could have done that, not a problem. When we lived in the Cotswolds, I fitted the kitchen, the bathroom, did underfloor heating, didn't do a bad job.
Fabulous job.
So I could have done it, I would have loved to have done it, but it wouldn't have been fair to Mrs. B.
I would not have liked it.
No, she wouldn't. And I'll be honest with you, we didn't have the budget to, allow me to do the fit out and then still, keep the hat. It wasn't within our budget. So, did we investigate it? Yes, we did. Seriously, we viewed a sail away here on the marina. We went to see the engineers called Street Hay.
Oh, they were
here
fabulous.
On the marina. Great organisation.
Yeah.
Again, it's just our view. We won't have a bad word said about them. I would have loved to have done it. Now, interestingly, the boat that's moored right beside us, lovely couple, I'm not going to mention them, lovely couple, he's doing, and we've not even been in the boat, but you can't help sometimes, when you're moored, you see, he's doing an amazing job.
Amazing, it's fabulous.
What I love about that, and I'm not knocking our boat, I truly love Ciao Bella, but the difference with being able to do it yourself is you get exactly what you want. So if you've got the skills, or if you've got the budget to get someone in to do it, it's not going to be cheaper getting someone in. If I'd have done it, we would have saved probably 60,000-70,000 quid. And I don't know why our neighbours have done it themselves. He's doing a fabulous job.
It's lovely.
Oh, it's really tasteful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
But equally, our neighbour may actually say to us, well, actually, we've spent more than we would have spent on a fully fitted out boat. So I don't know. But I would have loved to have done it, but not fair to Mrs. B. There's no way I'd have put my wife through living through that, and I've got massive respect for our neighbours in terms of... And
they're younger than us.
Yeah,
they've got more stamina than us, so...
Yeah. So, yes, we investigated it, and it is a genuine option. There's a few boats on wide beams on the marina at the moment being fitted out, and good luck to them. It'd probably take you at least 12 months, to fit it out. But once you've done it, you've got a bespoke boat. So bear that one in mind. Good question.
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And good luck, by the way. Keep us in the
Yeah,
loop
when
on
you
that.
when you come back 2023,
Yeah.
yeah. Which is not a long time ago
No, it's
away,
not.
is it? It's only next year.
It'll vanish. Right, so let's move on. That was Adam. Ben and Christina from Nottingham. Not a million miles away
Not
from
far
where we are.
away, yeah, just up the road.
This is coming via lovelifetriumph.co.uk. You two are nuts.
Thank you.
Thank you. We laugh so much when you are out on those walks. God, it must be a riot being with you pair. It's hard work, actually. No, zero sense of direction. No, but you know what? Someone asked me recently as I was walking around the beginning of the day, you pair are mad on camera. Are you the same? Look, we just press record. We've always said it.
There's no script or anything.
No, we
None.
don't script this.
No.
But thank you. You may have covered this off before, but we would love to know how you find working on the boat. Where do you work? And honestly, how reliable is your internet? How does it work? Do you use a provider via the internet? Again, how do you get internet into the boat? Do you can you use your own provider? We ask because we are thinking about doing what you are doing, but we really do need the internet for our jobs. Also, someone out there needs to do a video on it. Hold that thought. Thanks for considering putting this into the podcast.
Oh.
Christina, you're more than welcome.
Thank you for asking.
Let me deal with the first thing. If you go to Foxes Afloat, don't know if you follow them, Foxes Afloat, lovely couple. They did a video, I don't know what number it is, but if you go into their catalogue or their playlist, you will see they did a 30-minute video on how they get internet into their boat. What we did and what I continue to do, I'll talk you through it briefly in a minute, is exactly the same thing. So I basically went onto, on the video, there was a little link you could click in terms of all the equipment they bought, the router, the mast, etc, etc, and I basically bought everything. I upgraded the router because the time of videoing what they videoed, it was almost a year on, and technology moves on at the speed of sound, doesn't it? So I did upgrade the router. But in essence, our internet is, I want to say, 99.9% reliable. We've had a couple of issues last couple of evenings, but last night, for the first time, I actually reset our router, and it was fine.
Brilliant.
So, 99.9% of the time, like you, I need the internet for my job. It's absolutely perfect. You've got on Mercia 2 options. You can go via a Ethernet cable, so a physical cable. Each pontoon or each area that you moor your boat, at the end of it, there's a little modem you can plug your cable into, bring it into the boat. I did try that. It wasn't for me. So as I say, I went wireless with Foxes Afloat solution. Never had a problem. The only thing that we had to, I suppose, almost test was the different providers. In the UK, we have now landed with Vodafone. We've got a contract with Vodafone, and it's been perfect. Before Vodafone, it wasn't great. It really wasn't. It was hit and miss. But since we've been on Vodafone, which is a good 6 months, we really haven't had an issue.
It's brilliant.
It's absolutely
Love it.
spot on.
Yeah, it's great.
One thing I will say again is, if you watch the Foxes video, don't scrimp on your router. Our router, it's a good router. It was £350. You can get routers for 50 quid. They're not going to do. And I know I'll probably get some criticism and comments from those folk, but invest in a good router and a good mast to bring kind of the signal in. And you really won't go wrong. It's never let me down. I say I am permanently on Team, Zoom calls.
And I'm on Netflix
Yeah.
and YouTube and stuff.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, absolutely.
Foxes Afloat.
Yeah, Foxes Afloat. Please go watch.
Brilliant
It's a
video.
Great video.
Yeah, very informative.
Yeah,
Very easy to watch and to follow
yeah,
too.
it is. And I know a number of other boaters and our marina did exactly the same, because they were having various challenges with their internet.
Yeah.
And this boat actually came with a router, and I basically plugged it. It's in under the sink in a cupboard. I'm not saying it wasn't a very good router, but it was nowhere near as powerful as the one we've got, and that's what will get you a good signal. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Oh, we're getting through these. This is great. David Lomas from, I think I've pronounced this right, Caldy. I think that's in Scotland, isn't it? Apologies if it isn't, but I'm sure it is.
Lovely.
And this is via lovelifetribe.co.uk. David's put, I've been watching you and your very sexy wife. That's your first.
Thank you, David.
I've been watching you and your very sexy wife since the very start, and I love the channel. And when you came away from the motorbikes, I really was upset. But, in capitals, the channel has remained just as funny and entertaining. Thank you.
Thank you very
David,
much.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
I have a very quick question. Does your island in the kitchen have storage? I absolutely love your boat and would also love an island on the boat that I hope to buy one day in the next year or so. It will absolutely be an Aqualine because they simply are the best in terms of fit, wouldn't you agree? We've had that comment. Yes, I totally agree in terms of fit. Standard fit, but I just want to caveat very briefly again, if you go do your own thing as our neighbours are doing, you could possibly bring it up to another level. But out of the kind of the box as such, Aqualine every day in terms of fit out for us personally. So, does our island have storage? Should we
Yes.
show David? Yes, it does, David.
Have I tidied inside?
Oh, Mrs. Bonner.
I didn't know you were going to do that.
Have you tidied the island?
I don't know.
Right, so David, the island, let me just take you through it. So the island on the end here has got double sockets for plugging various bits and pieces in. There's a little cupboard here, sorry about the lighting, where we've got all our glasses and various other bits and pieces. I'm not sure what this surface is, Mrs. Bonneville. What's the surface of it?
It's is it granite?
I'm not sure. If it's not granite, it's probably some type of...
It's heat resistant and everything anyway.
It is nice. Beneath... God, the lighting. Let me put some lights on. That's a bit better. So, beneath, you've got three... Let me just open. You've got three drawers here. Various bits of storage. And then to this side, we've got another little cupboard. Well, big cupboard, where we've got all our plates and goodness knows what else. So, the island, yes, has got storage, and the island is used an awful lot, isn't it?
Oh, and that's what I wanted. So, so David, it was the same with me.
Yeah.
One of the things I said to Mr. B was, can we try and get a boat that's got an island in it? Because I've always wanted an island. And that's what we've got, isn't it?
Yeah, I've just noticed my mic has stopped. Anyway, I'm sure you can hear me. Let me just put that back down. So, thank you for that question, David.
Yep.
I'm actually just going to hold my mic now. Oh, right. So, David, thank you.
And good luck, David, if that's what you're doing.
Keep us in the loop.
Yeah, do, yeah. And let's see your island when you get your island.
We absolutely love to know what folk are up to, so drop us a note. I feel like a reporter doing this.
Looks like you're going to sing.
If anyone's got, by the way, I mean, these mics are okay, but if anyone's got a recommendation for, you know, some other portable wireless mics, these, they've not been great.
They clip on, aren't they? Where's mine? Mine's here somewhere.
It's
there, yeah.
Right, so let's move on. Right, Katie, we've only got two more questions, by the way. Katie Moore via lovelifetriumph.co.uk. Katie's put, hi there. I have watched many of your entertaining YouTube vlogs. Thank you. I need to ask a question about your mattress that you had on your narrowboat, please. We are looking for a quality mattress that would accommodate a crossbed. Katie's put in brackets, 2-part mattress, close brackets. Could you point me in the right direction, as I know you did your research? We have the Eve mattress, which we love, but the bed can't be fitted, which is not ideal. Is there a quality mattress out there for a crossbed? Oh yes. Keep up the good work, guys. Thanks, Katie. Katie, thank you.
Thank you, Katie.
So, on Narrowboat Love Life Triumph, which is what Katie's referring to, we had Street Hay do the bed extension, which turned the bed into a super king size, which is the same size as the bed here. But obviously we needed a piece of mattress infill, and we went to a company called Ship Shape Bedding.
Very careful how you say that.
Yeah, Ship Shape Bedding. And what they do, Katie, basically what you're going to need to do is measure where your mattress is to go, and they do. If you go onto the website, you will be blown away with the basically the different templates, and they'll cut your mattress basically to however you want it. Ours was really easy. Ours was just a long, almost oblong.
About this size wasn't it?
It was 3.5 feet wide by 7 feet long, and it was just, it looked like a huge foam finger, didn't it?
Yeah.
And that was ship-shape bedding. Now, have a look on the website. We went kind of top range in terms of the mattress. It was fabulous. It really, really was fabulous. And interestingly, that mattress insert is the same mattress brand that we've got on this bed at the moment, and I can't fault them. I'm not going to talk about the price. Go and have a look, because again, we'll probably be accused of flexing or whatever the phrase is. It's not cheap, but you've only got to do it once.
And a good night's sleep is just
don't
priceless. Priceless.
What do I always say? What else shouldn't you scrimp on?
The bedding. You never scrimp on the bedding.
Don't scrimp on your bedding and your mattress, because a good night's sleep. So yeah, ship-shape bedding, they will sort you out.
Can I just say as well, on Love Life Triumph, our narrowboat, they also did our cushions on the well deck too, didn't they?
They did.
So any sort of like cushiony, mattressy sort of thing that you want to do, and they're so easy to do the templates. In fact, I think one of our vlogs earlier on, it showed us doing the template. We did it with a piece of paper and stuff.
That's a good point. Have a look in terms of the kind of the playlist. We did actually do.
Yeah.
We did film some of the process.
You do it on like they send you some brown paper and you literally just drawing it what you want, send that off, and then they make it from the template that you've sent them. So any shape and size.
Now my mic has completely stopped working. So as I say, if anyone knows of a decent mic, sorry about the audio on this then. Right, so Katie, thank you.
Thanks, Katie.
Our last question, Morris. Apologies, Morris, I can't pronounce your surname. I think it's Korea. And this has come via Love Life Triumph, the website. Morris has put, "Hi, I am currently in Bermuda."
Wow. Oh, how exotic.
It's blowing a hoolie here and it's about 6 degrees, Morris. So you're in Bermuda.
I can hear what they call him, Barry Manilow. Bermuda Triangle playing in my head now.
So, hi, I am currently in Bermuda with my wife, and we are thinking one day we would like to try the UK, and I love the water, so a narrowboat or wide boat looks like the way to go. We would not want to cruise a whole lot, maybe in the summer, but would like to know how often you have to move from the marina. By the way, your boat is totally awesome. Morris, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm still not over Bermuda. Bermuda or the UK? Let me think about that. So how often do we have to move our boat? As we've mentioned, because we are residential moorers, and within the mooring terms and conditions, it stipulates we have to move our boat just twice a year.
But tell them where. So we're not moving it miles away or off the marina or anything like that. When he says about moving, it makes it sound like we have to move it miles away.
Panics every time I say that. She's right, and we just have to move it literally a couple of berths along.
Yeah. So this will always be our home on here, and we're going to change with our neighbours, aren't we?
We don't know where we're going to change.
Probably.
But yeah, Mrs. B is right. We don't move to another part of the marina, or indeed another part of the UK.
That's one of the things that Vicky asked me yesterday.
Yeah.
This will always be our pontoon.
Yeah, definitely. So the reason, as I say, is because we are residential mooring, and it's part of the terms and conditions of our mooring arrangement. So we couldn't comment in terms of what other marinas do, but I'm pretty sure it's similar.
Yeah.
Obviously, out on the waterways as a continuous cruiser, the rules and regulations are completely different. I don't want to go down that road because I don't want to give advice, I don't want to give advice that may not be correct.
The only thing we can tell you is when we go onto our part of the towpath down here, it's got a sign saying 48-hour moorings, so that indicates that you can stop there for 48 hours, doesn't it? Yeah. So each part of the canal will have different lengths of time, won't it?
Correct. So Morris again, Bermuda. Bermuda. Stay in Bermuda. I actually thought that was the last question. It's not.
Oh.
Sorry, we've got one more. Katie.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry, Morris, thank you. Katie Rogerson And this has come from via lovelifetriumph.co.uk, and Katie is somewhere in the south of France.
Oh,
Again, we've been all over the planet today, haven't we?
south of France. Oh, I bet it's beautiful there.
And Katie has put really, really cheeky question. I would absolutely love to have bought your boat. It is simply stunning. Katie, thank you. It's obviously not for sale.
No, it's ours now,
but
thank
it's
you.
ours. This is our home, Katie. You can't take it.
No,
from
it's
us.
ours, but it's not for sale.
Katie's put, really, really cheeky question, you pair. I would love to know, we are about to take that step and buy a wide beam. We would love our wide beam to be moored on Mersey Marina. We are on the waiting list, and we have been told by the lovely folk in the office, and they are lovely.
They're fabulous, yeah.
We've been told by the lovely folk in the office there is a long waiting list now. And Katie's put in brackets, bummer, closed brackets. However, we are prepared to wait because we've viewed other marinas in the UK and nothing comes anywhere close to Mercia. We have to agree.
We have to agree. We love it here.
We do. Kate has also put, this is the cheeky question. Do you, or did you, bid new and used boats with the cost or the ultimate price of your wide beam? Like you, my husband will absolutely not entertain buying a new boat in terms of the commercials and the depreciation, etc., etc. We would be keen to know the approach you took. Katie, shall I answer that?
Yeah.
Yeah. The approach we took was literally, and the approach I've taken on everything throughout my life today is I always negotiate. It's as simple as that. If we'd have bought a new boat, I would have negotiated. Now, there's a danger here of getting some comments back, and I don't want the comments back. Just try to maybe understand the context of what I'm saying. I know for a fact some of the new wide beams we could have got significantly cheaper than that they were on brokerage for. So therefore, that would have really given myself and Mrs. Bonneville extra leverage. And even if I hadn't have come across or stumbled across some information, let's just say, I would have still bid, because that's just what you do commercially. I think if you go in at the asking price, I think it's great for the broker, of course, but why would you do that? But I also think some brokers have scare tactics with particularly boat sales. Oh, cost of steel, cost of this, supply, demand, supply chain issues. What a load of rubbish. If the boat's in the water, the boat's in the water. I can't comment on new build boats. That process is completely different. Of course it is. And that's when supply chain and cost of goods, of course, have a massive effect on your balance sheet in terms of what you're selling it for. I get that. If the boat's in the water, it's been built and it's in the water, so it's up for negotiation. This boat was in the water, and as we've said many times, when the boat was new, we've got the paperwork, it was £250,000. Now, the boat went in brokerage, not for that, of course, and of course, what the boat went in brokerage for versus what we bought it for was nowhere near that, because we negotiated.
Everything can be negotiated.
Everything.
And never be afraid.
No.
Never be afraid, because the worst that can happen
They
is
say no.
the seller will say, no, I'm not accepting that.
Or the broker.
The broker, sorry. So then you negotiate. Always negotiate. Always.
Absolutely.
There's always room for negotiation.
And I do sometimes think a common sense approach, we would have never have gone into the broker and said, we'll give you £60,000.
Never, no.
That's just cheeky.
No.
But there is that tipping point. But yeah, Mrs. B's absolutely right. They can only say no.
With everything, you never put the asking price of a house. You'd always go in a little bit lower, and then you negotiate and get something in between. It's always about negotiation.
What I can't say is, the rule of thumb with, the rule of thumb used to be with a house, maybe 5 to 10%. There's no rule of thumb with a boat, because it certainly wasn't 10% here. It was a lot more. But equally, when we sold Love Life Triumph, we made on that boat, where a lot of folk were saying to us, you buy a boat, you lose money. So we made on Love Life Triumph, and we made on
And
Ciao.
can I just say, so with Love Life Triumph, yes, we made a profit on that, but we still negotiated.
Yeah.
So the couple that were buying it, we negotiated with them, because they did the right thing. They negotiated with us,
Absolutely.
and then we settled on a price that we were both happy with.
Yeah.
So there's always that room for negotiation.
Yeah. I think the rule of thumb is don't be I think some folk get a little bit nervous about doing it. And I say I'm not criticising those folk that have maybe done it completely differently. I'm not, but my view is, why on earth would you not negotiate if the boat's in the water? Why, it's built. So don't let all the sales patter. That for me, honestly, you'd watch me glaze over if a salesman or salesperson should say started that route with me. So basically, don't be frightened to negotiate. Don't be cheeky. Don't insult the broker or ultimately the owner of the boat. We certainly didn't.
No,
not
at all.
I was very clear. Equally, you've got and I think this is where me and Mrs. B are polar opposites. When I put the price on the table with our broker here, it really was, that's it, I'm walking away. And I would have walked away. Mrs. B would have probably gone back and I wouldn't have done. Because I say, once I've kind of done my research, and believe you me, we did the research on the boat, I was very comfortable with the number based on a few things that the boat needs to be done to it, blacking. I know that shouldn't really come into effect because all boats need blacking, but I did put that on the table, that this boat has had a huge self-seeking satellite on the roof, and when it's been water's got under it between the base of the satellite and the paint, and there's probably a 2 foot square huge piece of work needed. It's not structurally, it's not done anything to the boat. Aesthetically it doesn't look great. We've booked it in to be done, so I put that on there, and a few other bits and pieces. Some of them were a bit tongue-in-cheek, but I did negotiate, and as I say, and this is the reason why. So go in with an offer, and this is the reason.
A sensible offer.
Absolutely.
And see where it gets you. Yeah. You could always offer more, but go in with a good negotiation.
Yeah, definitely. Right, that, sorry about the mic. That is the end of our recorded podcast for this month. I hope you've enjoyed it. Mrs. Bonneville, where are we going now?
We're off down to the Derby Centre. Our main town is Derby, and shopping centre, and it's the 29th of January today. And what we've decided to do, although Valentine's Day isn't for a few weeks, we're going to buy each other some.
There's no romance in this marriage
some new clothes or something. We're not sure, and we're going to go and have lunch and stuff, because last Valentine's, if you remember, we bought each other the Hunter boots, which were fabulous. You see, romance isn't dead in this relationship. We buy each other Wellington boots and stuff, so that's where we're off to.